The kinesiology department at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo currently has a very outdated human biomechanics lab. This lab may be good for students to gain at least some experience with biomechanics, but it doesn't have the ability to be used for faculty research, which is a necessity for the future. Cal Poly needs a new human motion biomechanics research lab where faculty can hold ongoing research in biomechanics. Many universities across the country have some type of human performance lab. UC Davis has one that studies the effect of physical activity on preventing chronic health problems, and Stanford University has one that focuses on preventing injury during sport and exercise. Both of these labs have state-of-the-art equipment that allows researchers and students the greatest opportunities to further their knowledge. With Cal Poly's motto of learn by doing, it seems that we should eventually follow suit behind Davis and Stanford with our own cutting-edge human motion biomechanics lab. Crandall Gymnasium is a facility on Cal Poly's campus that could potentially be utilized for the human motion biomechanics lab. Currently, the gym is condemned due to an unsafe structural environment. However, with remodeling, the building should be up to standard and can serve as the perfect space for the human motion biomechanics lab. To find out more about the project, its benefits, and roadblocks, we sat down with Kinesiology Department Chair Dr. Taylor.
Dr. Clark in Kinesiology and Dr. Steve Klush from Mechanical Engineering are proposing a research lab called the Human Movement Biomechanics Lab. The lab that they're proposing is to look at human motion and study movement, particularly in knee joints. Look at the forces involved in loading on the knee during various forms of exercise. The benefits of the Human Motion Biomechanics Lab are going to be multifaceted. There's direct benefit to students in kinesiology because they can get involved in faculty research projects. They'll be involved in collecting data using state-of-the-art equipment, and it's a really wonderful way to more deeply engage students that have an interest for an aptitude for biomechanics. To engage in a collaboration with engineers, mechanical engineers, who spend their world, their whole world revolves around mechanics, is a profoundly beneficial educational experience. Both the kine student and the mechanical engineering student have profoundly important beneficial backgrounds to bring to this study, yet they're going to be slightly different. That's going to be a very engaging experience for students. This is a win-win because engineering professors are getting something out of this, the kines professors getting something out of this, and other people are being drawn in as well because it's a very exciting idea. I think one of the biggest potential beneficiaries of this lab is going to be our local community because the kind of data that they collect with the equipment that will be in this human motion biomechanics lab is going to be profoundly beneficial to elite athletes. There's a lot of elite athletes live in this area or come to the Central Coast to train, and we could provide a facility where they could get state-of-the-art analysis of the forces involved in their cycling motion, their gait, and the forces involved in their running technique, patterns, all sorts of aspects of running could be analyzed using this lab. What we're looking at creating is a research lab in which we do a little teaching. We're Cal Poly, and that's what we do. We try to combine both all the time. The equipment has to be, and the environment has to be controlled so that you can be certain that your data is valid and reliable. You're measuring exactly what you set out to measure, and you're doing it in a fashion that you measure the same thing 15 times, you get the same answer 15 times. it has to be very precise. And in a heavily used space, accomplishing that level of precision is very challenging. Finding the space, frankly, is probably the biggest challenge at the moment. It's a good idea, and good ideas tend to get funded. They tend to get support. This facility is going to be funded through a variety of sources. A modern polytechnic university really needs to partner with as a public institution.
The Human Motion Biomechanics Lab will give students a greater opportunity to continue to learn by doing. Cal Poly faculty will be able to carry out research they have been unable to in the past due to insufficient facilities and resources. The lab will give Cal Poly students an opportunity to gain relevant research experience and will give the San Luis Obispo community a great opportunity to have exercise testing done in a reliable and up-to-date facility. Without this new facility, Cal Poly risks falling behind the curve that other universities have set with their own biomechanics labs, which could potentially put students at a disadvantage for job opportunities. Cal Poly has some of the greatest minds in public education, and these people need this facility to continue striving for greatness and to break ground in both kinesiology and engineering. Funding of this facility would provide many people a great opportunity in biomechanics research. To not fund it would be an enormous loss and injustice to Cal Poly as well as the San Luis Obispo community.